My name is Kate, a 39-year-old janitor. I've been working at a company that contracts to clean corporate offices since I was 20. And soon it will be 20 years of being a single woman in her 40s. I chose this job to take care of my mother, who had fallen ill. It was just my mother, my brother, and me, a single-parent family. At one time, my mother became seriously ill, and I had to drop out of vocational school to make time to accompany her to the hospital and assist her. The janitor job I found allowed me to secure time to assist my mother. Now, I truly feel glad to have this job. The president and my seniors understand my situation well and always treat me with great care, calling me Kate, Kate. My juniors are adorable too. I thought there couldn't be a better workplace anywhere. My mother passed away when I was 25 and my brother was 19. As autumn ended and winter approached, shocked by her death, I often took leave from work. The company was about to enter the busy season of major cleaning. My colleagues would say, "It's okay, Kate, we'll wait until you feel better." Genuinely concerned about me. I appreciated their concern, but I wanted to shut myself in if possible. I wanted to go with my mother. But I had a brother who needed to be taken care of. It was pitiful that he lost his mother before becoming an adult. So I had to pull myself together and somehow continued working. At that time, my brother was still a college student. I always cared for him, giving him money for textbooks when his grade level increased, and picking him up by car when he came home late. When he got a job, I gifted him a suit to celebrate. My income was meager, but I worked hard thinking of it as a replacement for our mother. After our mother's death, my brother started saying things like, "Shouldn't you quit being a janitor, and shouldn't you get a better job?" I think he was dissatisfied with the low income and the poor social perception of my job. I wasn't in a mental state to change jobs at that time. So it was very tough each time he said that. But it was my colleagues who kindly supported me then. Later, my brother worked hard on job hunting and got a job at a large company, a name frequently seen in TV commercials and online ads. A company everyone knows. His first salary was nearly twice mine. He was overjoyed, like a little boy who got a lot of Christmas gifts. "Look, sis. I surpassed you in just 1 month. Crazy. Look, this is the pay slip. Amazing, right?" My brother was truly delighted and carelessly boasted about it to others. "Sis, quit your job as a janitor and get a good job like me. Hey, watch how you speak. I like my current job. Stop with the sour grapes. The salaries are completely different." I wished he would think about his words a bit more. But I was relieved that his efforts were rewarded. Sitting in front of our mother's portrait, I reported, "Brother has become respectable." However, with his nose high at his company, my brother started going in a bad direction. He would brag about being praised by his boss, saying he could work well, even though he had just joined the company. I heard he was going to participate in a large project. As his sister, I was proud of that, but my brother increasingly looked down on his colleagues without discrimination. "I'm expected to do well and I can work, but my peers are a bit. They have too bad a memory. It'd be terrible if their fault drops my evaluation." He would say such things nonchalantly. It's not just the workplace. He somewhat underestimates society. If this continues, he will trip himself up. I admonished my brother for such an attitude. I don't think there's such a difference among new employees. We've just started at the starting line. Then my brother sneered. "Sis, a low-educated janitor like you acting all knowledgeable, huh?" I was furious. "That's because I've been a working adult longer than you. So I know people's abilities aren't that different." "Oh? Are there college grads among the newbies at the cleaning company? Before you lecture me, go tell them they're wasting their lives." Mocking me, my brother went out to drink. That child might suffer a painful experience someday? Despite my concerns, My brother's overinflated ego continued to accelerate. It started with the superiority of earning more than his sister. That changed into the mistaken self-recognition that he was exceptionally capable. And my brother's personality became distorted. He would say whatever he wanted to me. Initially, I overlooked it as just his being excited about his job. But merely admonishing him gently didn't resonate at all. After understanding that, I tried scolding him strictly, but unfortunately, there was no change. I began to lose confidence in how I interacted with my brother. As years passed, I continued working as a janitor. My brother seemed to be progressing well in his career, but his humanity, which looked down on others, worsened. Then, he moved in and married his girlfriend. This partner was also as self-centered as him, causing me trouble. My brother's wife was much younger, and to me, she felt like a different generation. The first conversation I had with her when my brother introduced us was, "Sister, is it true you're a janitor?" "Yes, it's a fulfilling job and I enjoy it." "Huh? It's dirty, isn't it?" "Such a job. I wouldn't want it. It must smell." Listening beside us, my brother added, "Right? Unbelievable, huh? It's unsanitary. And ugly, and broke. But I can't help it. She's family, sorry." I was dumbfounded, and I don't remember much after that. After she left that day, I yelled at my brother. "You're being rude. Can't help it because she's family? What's that supposed to mean? And her too. You shouldn't judge people by their occupation or income." My brother, surprised by my sudden outburst, stuttered back. "Shut up. You're a vocational school dropout, and I'm a college graduate. So is she. Can't help but be told that. Low income, bottom tier job, a trashy life." With that, my brother stormed out. I was sad and frustrated and cried. I dropped out of vocational school because of our mother's illness. My brother knew that. Yet he spoke that way. My income is certainly low. But I managed his tuition fees. I worked hard thinking of it as replacing our deceased mother. I definitely made a mistake in how I interacted. Crying, I looked in the mirror. Being called ugly bothered me. My face resembles my brother's. I'm not a beauty or cute. But I don't think I'm that ugly. But indeed, I might not have taken enough care of myself. Maybe if I tidy myself up a bit, his consciousness might change. Well, even if I clean myself up, it's unlikely to change my brother's personality. Rather, marrying a girlfriend with similar values has only strengthened his self-centeredness. I discussed with my colleagues at work, but I began to think that my relationship with my brother had reached an irreparable point. Then one day, I received a postcard from my brother and his wife. We moved. I didn't know. From the address, it looked like a single-family home. What's this? They're being distant. If they had told me, I would have celebrated and helped with the move. Since I had things I wanted to talk about, I took this opportunity to call them after a long time. "Hello. I got the postcard." "Ah." My brother's cheerful voice came through the phone. "Amazing, right? A single-family home at this young age. I'm a fast riser. It'd be impossible if it wasn't for me." "Yeah. Amazing." He was still bragging as usual, but I found it somewhat nostalgic. And listened to my brother talk a lot. It was after that when I brought up my matter. "Hey, I have something to tell you too. Just the other day, my company got the cleaning contract for your company. We might see each other from time to time." "Wow. That's great. There wouldn't be any other reason to enter such a big building except for cleaning. It would have been better if he had stopped at 'that's great.' And one more thing. I got a boyfriend." "What? Really?" My brother sounded genuinely surprised. "Yes. He's older and a wonderful person. Since you told me, I've been working hard on my skincare. He fell in love with me at first sight. I joked, and he said, my influence is huge, huh? Somehow, that was also boastful. Well, not that he doesn't have any merit. I want to introduce him to you. He really wants to meet you too. So can I come over soon? It'll also be a housewarming visit. I said it casually and he exclaimed, what? You're coming? His voice, which had been cheerful until then, suddenly darkened. What happened? Sis. You do understand your job, right? What? I thought my job. The cleaning job? My place is newly built. That means it's clean. I don't want someone dirty like a janitor in my house. What? You're saying you don't want a janitor in your new house because they're dirty? I don't understand. My mind went blank. Since you do a dirty job, shouldn't you hold back in situations like this? The people at your workplace must think so too. You're out of touch, sis. It's rude. Apologize. Blood boiled in my blank mind. And I felt my anger about to explode. Is it common sense to hold back because my job is dirty? Rude? Apologize? Don't mess with me. I raised my voice, beyond patience. You're too disrespectful. That's too rude. I could have endured it if it were just me. But my company's people too. I couldn't let that go. I could tell my brother flinched over the phone. He attacks quiet people fiercely, but when retaliated against, he quickly becomes flustered. Do you really think people's worth is decided by their profession? That's the real lack of common sense. Apologize. What? Why are you getting so mad all of a sudden? I won't forgive you. How could you become such a trashy man? Mom would definitely be sad. Trash. The real trash is you. Your boyfriend is probably some worthless guy who can't do a decent job. No one in their right mind would deal with a cleaning lady. If you weren't my real sister, I wouldn't bother with such a dirty woman. If you weren't my real brother, I would have abandoned you long ago. That's my line. I disown you. Don't ever contact me again. Fine. Understood. Goodbye then. It was a childish exchange of retorts, but I could no longer behave like an adult. My brother tried to say something else, but I ignored him and hung up. I was prepared to sever ties with my brother. He's the only sibling I have in this world. But I can't handle it anymore. In my brother's values, a janitor like me has no human rights. Even if we're siblings. If our values are so different, it's better for both of us not to be involved anymore. It's okay. My brother has grown up enough. This is goodbye. I settled my feelings. Months after I declared disownment to my brother, I was assigned to clean his workplace by some twist of fate. I think the boss considered my feelings, but I wasn't enthusiastic. However, giving my all to the work assigned to me is my principle. I suppressed my feelings and headed to my brother's company. The building was really large and spacious. If it's this big, there's no way I'll run into my brother. Even if we meet, he probably won't recognize me. Thinking that made me feel a bit relieved. Pushing the cart with cleaning tools, I switched my focus to cleaning. It was that afternoon. As I was mopping the floor, a group of about 5 men were talking while drinking canned coffee in front of a vending machine. Really, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Give me a break already. How many years have you been working here? Report and consult before it becomes a situation where the entire team has to clean up after you. Yes. This is the 3rd time this fiscal year similar things have happened. I'm sorry, senior. The person apologizing must have made a mistake. And everyone was working hard to recover. Good job. With that sentiment, I continued mopping without looking their way. Your peers are already team leaders, some are even section chiefs. Try a little harder. I'm sorry. Ah, he's being told harsh things. They should forgive him already. I also want to mop past that group to the other side of the corridor. They scolded the man who seemed to have made a mistake again. And all went back to the office. When that group passed in front of me, I recognized a familiar face. My brother. The one being scolded for a mistake was my brother. No way. My brother also noticed me and froze for a moment, then quickly lost color. But he didn't speak to me and quickly followed his team, leaving the scene. During the rest of the work, my brother kept flashing through my mind. He was supposed to be the most successful among his peers. But the brother I saw earlier looked like dead weight to the company. An underachiever. It seemed he regularly made mistakes at work. And was always apologizing to those involved. My intuition, honed from cleaning in various places and observing different workplace relationships, told me that his claim to be competent was just his pretense. At least he might have been doing well initially. As I suspected, he might have gotten complacent and overtaken by colleagues, tripped up by his disdain for others. I think that's understandable given his character. But I don't need to worry about him. He wouldn't rely on me either. We are strangers who have cut ties. Days after learning the reality, I saw my brother again. In front of me cleaning the main lobby. My brother and someone else stepped off the elevator. Ah, shoot. I forgot the paper bag with the samples. I'll go get it, so please wait here, senior. No, I'll go. I'm useless anyway. In return, take care of me when you get promoted. Stop saying that. I'll go get it. The junior-looking man cheerfully boarded the elevator to retrieve the forgotten item. Despite claiming to be competent, he had been quite rude to me earlier. From a distance, I felt pity for my brother. As I wiped the leaves of a potted plant in the lobby, my senior colleague discreetly approached me. Isn't that your brother? Yes, that's him. It seems he made some mistake, please just let him be. My senior looked worriedly at my brother before returning to his own position. Perhaps our sympathetic gaze annoyed him, because my brother, who had been crouched in the corner, glared and walked towards me. Hey, janitor. What are you doing? I'm cleaning. That's not what I mean. Why are you here? It's my job. As I responded indifferently, my brother became flushed and raised his voice. Don't you dare tell your sister-in-law that I'm pitiable at work. You understand? It felt like he was unleashing all his job frustrations on me. The people around us started staring as he raised his voice. I whispered to him, "You're drawing attention." Shut up. Don't you, a low-educated person, order me around. People are watching, brother. Please, keep it down. Trying to calm him, I reached for his hand, but he recoiled. Don't touch me. He frantically wiped where I had touched and continued his rant. You're trying to blackmail me, right? You want money, don't you? How much are you asking for? Blackmail? Money? What are you talking about? Don't tell my wife. You understand. You idiot. Oh, I see. What's it then? The fact you often mess up at work? Or that you're falling behind in promotions? Which one don't you want me to mention? Both, obviously. He really feared that I would gossip to his wife about his situation at work. So, you're even pretending to your wife? Shut up. Filth shouldn't talk. Filth, such a vile word. My brother, oblivious to the surrounding eyes, continued to insult me. The company must be causing him a lot of stress. He tries to lighten his own heart by belittling me. I'm not your punching bag. At that moment, a voice came from behind. That is disrespectful to those in the cleaning sector. Shut up. Huh? Who are you? My brother finally noticed the disturbance around him and started looking around frantically. perhaps unable to bear his disrespectful behavior any longer. A man from the crowd stepped forward. He was dressed in a neat suit, with gray hair, exuding an air of high social status. Seeing this man, my brother immediately became flustered. The man stood beside me, placing a gentle hand on my back. Such foul language, calling someone dirty or stupid, is unbearable. Apologize to her. Huh? But she's my sister. We were just having a sibling argument. I quickly retorted, I thought we had cut off our family ties. Shut up. My brother was meek with the gray-haired man but harsh with me, showing a two-faced approach. The man intervened. If it's a family matter, then it involves me too. Huh? Nice to meet you. I'm dating your sister. What? My brother was dumbfounded. I am currently on secondment as the managing director of an affiliated company. I am also a director at your company. It's unfortunate we didn't have a chance to greet each other recently. What? What? My brother was in a panic, clearly overwhelmed by what was happening. I felt a bit awkward and looked at him with a sharp gaze. You didn't have to come out now. If not now, then when? He said with a friendly smile. Hey, sis. Is that really true? My brother was terrified. Understandable, since the person in front of him was a director at his company. It's true. When our company secured the cleaning contract for this building, I accompanied our president. He took an interest in me during that contract. No way. It's true. When the president couldn't explain the details at the contract signing, she elaborated everything so logically that I fell in love with her on the spot, he said. A murmur rose in the lobby. How embarrassing. Any decent man wouldn't date a cleaning lady. I heard you said she doesn't do a respectable job. That's not true. I never said that. Regardless of the truth, I demand an apology for the rude words you said to your sister. My brother listened, turning pale with each word spoken by the dignified man. Kate's brother? You shouldn't worry your sister so much. My colleague from the lobby cleaning crew had come over without me noticing, and colleagues from another floor gathered around. My brother was utterly surrounded. Seemingly resigned, he barely managed to stand and apologize to me. I'm sorry. He was utterly defeated. His voice was small, devoid of spirit or emotion. Later, my brother was transferred to a distant subsidiary. To clear my boyfriend's name, he had nothing to do with my brother's transfer. My brother, panicking over his multitude of workplace blunders, and worried that his misdeeds at work would be exposed to his wife, continued to make mistakes. It seems he has completely fallen off the track of career advancement. My brother's wife came crying to me after learning of the transfer. Sister, you're dating a director at my husband's company, right? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Please get him back to the headquarters, she begged. My answer, of course, was a firm no. Her pleas did not resonate with me at all. With the salary from the subsidiary, they couldn't afford their home mortgage, and it looked like they would have to let go of the new house they had built. What happens to my brother and his wife afterward is none of my concern. And so, I married him. We are happily living in our newly built home. I still continue with the cleaning work, though I seldom go to the field because I have become the president of the cleaning company, the company where I've worked all along. When the president retired, I was nominated as his successor. Me, a president? I doubted it at first. But if I can be of use to the company I love, I decided to give it my best. No matter what anyone says, I intend to proudly continue the work I love at the company I adore.